everybody. We got a really sick one today. So yesterday there was like 3 or 4 people that asked me about this combo here. I don't know if there was like a Reddit post or something, but a lot of people just started asking me yesterday about this. 2 Temur Battlecriers and a Karn. Temur Battlecrier is a card that I thought was pretty interesting in my set review. I for some reason didn't think about pairing with Karn the Great Creator, but it's a 3-mana 4/3, so not the worst stats. And also just being a 3-mana 4 power creature is interesting in the context of the Fanatic of Rhonas format. Fanatic of Rhonas, I think, is a fantastic card that has very few good enablers. And so this says, during your turn, spells you cast cost 1 less for each creature you control with power 4 or greater. Now, I also think when I was doing my set review, I was kind of thinking of like, you have 1 Temur Battlecrier and you have like 2 other creatures power 4 or greater and your spells cost 3 less, and that's pretty cool. One thing I didn't really think about is if you have 2 of them in play, your spells cost 4 less because they are each counting each creature power 4 or greater. If you have another creature, then they all cost 6 less, although that's not the most relevant in this deck, although it can come up. I guess just mostly for Ballista. But what you can do with 2 Battlecriers and a Karn is you can go Karn for Ancestral Statue. Ancestral Statue says it's a 4-mana artifact. Whenever this creature enters, return a non-land permanent you control to its owner's hand. So 2 Battlecriers makes Karn 0 mana, then it makes Statue 0 mana. You can cast Statue infinite times, bouncing itself. Then you can pick up the Karn. Then you can pick up Aetherflux Reservoir. Then you can cast the Reservoir also for 0 mana. And then if you can cast any other spell, you gain infinite life and deal infinite damage with the Aetherflux Reservoir. Now, what's interesting too about this is that if you're going Battlecriers into Karn and you don't have that extra spell to cast, it's okay, because you're going to be very ahead and you're pretty set up to likely win the game next turn. And also, this whole general shell plays really well in this like Green Sun Zenith Outcast Trailblazer shell. Trailblazer is like so perfect for this deck. Not only does it care about just putting a bunch of creatures with power 4 or greater into play, but this is going to draw you a lot of cards. But just the fact that Trailblazer makes another colored mana is a really, really, really big deal. Where if you can have a Trailblazer in play and you have no more colored mana, and say you need a colored mana to win with Karn, you can play Phyrexian Metamorph for 0 mana, and the 0 mana Phyrexian Metamorph is going to give you another colored mana to either let you cast a colored. I guess it would be the spell itself, but it lets you like cast another Green Sun Zenith, or it lets you cast potentially a Titania if you need another color. Like the fact that this giving you a color when you copy with Metamorph when you have no more colored mana has been a pretty big deal in goldfishing so far, at least. Now I'm testing out a couple of other like one of Green Sun Zenith targets. So I guess I'll say this. I think Titania Safekeeper is really important. Safekeeper is just good in this deck as a way to protect your clunky 3-mana spells. Like you're going to just get Safekeeper kind of naturally as a protection spell a lot. But then you also pair it with Titania so that when you're comboing off, basically, you get a Battlecrier into play, and then you Green Sun Zenith for Titania, and you make a ton of creatures power 4 or greater. And then if you have a Trailblazer in play and a Safekeeper, you just get a sack a land, draw a card, sack a land, draw a card, sack a land, draw a card, and then you're going to draw into Karn the Great Creator, and Karn the Great Creator is going to be 0 mana, and then you're going to win the game. So like this, I think that this package is going to be in there for sure. Now, I still want to be playing Eshki. Eshiki's like a lot worse in this build than in the first build we played her in. She was pretty solid there, I think, with Mox Amber and Mox Opal. I still want to play Eshki, or Eshki with Mox Opal and Mox Amber, so we just played with Mox Amber and Mishra's Bauble earlier. But I think as one of Green Sun Zenith target, she's still interesting. We're also trying Cactusfolk Sureshot. It's a 4-mana 4/4 reach ward 2. At the beginning of combat on your turn, other creatures you control with power 4 or greater gain trample and haste on the turn. So like a possible just Green Sun win the game when you're like kind of popping off like this, but you don't have access to a Karn, you have access to a Green Sun. I'm not sure if this is important yet, so I think this is the most likely card to get cut, maybe for another copy of Stock Up. I was playing 2 copies of Stock Up for a little bit, and then the Metamorphs were just so good that I wanted to play those, but could maybe get the second copy of Stock Up in here over the Sure Shot. Let's get in there though. Deck is pretty dope. Just makes a lot of mana, draws a lot of cards, gets to play fast Karn the Great Creators, and has access to an infinite combo that you can win this game. I guess I should say this. You could just combo off turn 3. If you go turn 2 Dragonclaw, if you just cast a turn 2 Dragonclaw, like it's not too tough to have like a combination of like Metamorph, Green Sun Zenith, Trailblazer, another Battlecrier, Malevolent Rumble, to just churn through your entire deck and win the game. Obviously, if your opponent doesn't interact with you, but that's kind of the matchups where it's important to be able to go fast, or the matchups where your opponent doesn't interact with you. All right, keeping this. Gonna go basic forest, sprawl on red. Any luck working on the reclamation list? Yeah, I have a reclamation list built that I think looks pretty cool. I've got some pretty nice tech for it too. I don't know if we're gonna get to it today. I also built a Dragonstorm deck finally, a Dragonstorm deck. I would still run 2 Woodlands since it interacts so nice with Rumble. Well, what would you cut for it? Of course. Would you cut the Boseiju? Looks like a Kiora deck. Yeah, I actually had a Kiora in over the stock ups for a little bit. I decided to play stock up instead, but yeah, I think Kiora is fine. Untapping Fanatic can be really good too. Monkey Butler is the 21 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Anything with Magmatic Hellkite? Yeah, we played a Magmatic Hellkite. That's the one that puts the stun counter. We played this Boros build. I'm kind of just saving it. I'm gonna want to return to it if Eldrazi ever just really takes over. Wow, Stadium Headliner. And at the moment, it doesn't exactly seem like that's gonna happen. Although I also do think it's early. Wrenn and Six seems pretty good here. I already have a Metamorph. I'll say this too. It's like, to some extent, it feels like we're really experiencing the natural cycle of people forming a lot of opinions without doing a lot of play testing. I feel like I still haven't seen like very many Ugins out there. I was watching Dingo's chat yesterday, and everybody's like, "Yeah, Ugin's not very good." I saw one person in chat say that Ugin wins only 85% of games Devour would win, and Devour is better most of the time, which I thought was a crazy thing to say, since Ugin is better almost every time you cast it, but it's a little bit harder to cast. And then in that very same match, like Dingo lost very hard to an Ugin, which I thought was kind of funny. Not that I'm rooting for my friend Dingo to lose, of course, but my main point here is that it just feels like people just always want to confirm the biases that they already had instead of trying to understand. I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna make a big red here, but I don't know. Like, yeah, but like in that very same match, like Ugin was the only card possibly that he would have lost to, and did lose to Ugin in that very same match. So draw a card before we make the mana. Okay, cool. So I was gonna Wrenn and Six ping if I didn't draw anything, but this is definitely something. I'm gonna make a green mana here, although it's unlike. I guess we could just draw Sprawl, but not a bad turn 3. 1 forest for first woodland is better, and I think you really need the 3 forest for what it's worth. Kind of improbable to combo like this turn 3. What do I say to this? I'm so sorry. I'll draw worse next time. Okay. My problem is Ugin is terrible in any kind of mirror. So people keep saying this. Ugin is terrible in any kind of mirror. Ugin is better than Devour in the mirror. It's like I'm kind of losing my mind on that point. Like Ugin is better than Devour in the mirror. Ugin replaces Devour for the most part. Good boy? What the fuck? What the fuck? Sacrifice this creature, deals damage equal to the number. Wait, this is just when you attack? Okay, voice is crazy. Wait. No, sorry. This is this trigger. But Devour still gets you looking game 1. I would rather have Ugin in my deck than Devour. I understand that. I know what Devour's text is. I know that it like can help you manipulate the top of your library. That isn't not valuable, or that isn't, you know, That isn't like particularly weak, I agree, but to say that it's worse than the mirror is just a little wild, I think, because I would much rather resolve an Ugin. Ugin is like a pretty hard card to deal with. It's got 9 loyalty, it draws a lot of cards, it gains life. I think it's pretty dang good. Okay, so I can get maybe Sylvan Safekeeper here. Let's see. For me to go for a Sylvan Safekeeper line. Well, I guess it's just gonna be. It's just gonna be. Well, Could I go for the haste card? Oh, I have my land to play this turn also, so I think just the haste 4-drop wins here. Cactusfolk Sureshot has been Green Sun Zenith for. Modern is the perfect format. Wait, it doesn't give itself haste? I really thought it gave itself haste. I still have -8, I guess. Why doesn't it? I guess maybe that would be too strong. All right, mostly a Karn board with consigns. Just gonna run it back here. We're trying to make Ugin more fighter. Okay, yeah, Ugin sucks. Yeah, I think I want to try Eldrazi Tron. Seems like a good shell for it. Although I'll say this, like if Ugin ends up not being that good, it is a good thing for the format because like that card is very unfun. So like I certainly want Ugin to be bad, but just a lot of the points I see being made about it are pretty wild. So the combo is get 4 creatures power 4, then Karn Statue Reservoir. Well, you only need, if you can do that, or you can get just 2 Battlecriers because they count double for each. So if you Metamorph or Green Sun for another Battlecrier, it pops off. Name blue and then get mounted and probably plot the Trailblazer next turn. How did Songcraft Church perform? We went 3-2. I thought it was fine. Yeah, we do have a stock up. I had 2 yesterday. Stock up's pretty good here, I think. This is, I guess, funny. It's pretty much an Animar EDH deck, huh? I guess so. Clearly, people haven't found the correct Ugin build. I keep seeing people running mono green into energy meta with no plan to board wipe. Yeah, this is another thing about the Eldrazi in general is that people are only really interested in playing like the Emrakul, the Promised End, like normal builds. But like we've played a lot of different versions. We've done well with like every Ugin version we've played so far. None of them have been that build. Not that that build is bad, but I just would be interested in seeing people working in other versions. Oh, sorry, I forgot to cut the mountain, although it's not going to probably be a problem here. I can maybe just make red mana with the Trailblazer. Trailblazer in Modern seems weird. I mean, we played it in the past. It's definitely one of these high synergy cards that is, it can be a little slow, but... Did you watch game 1? My opponent... okay, they're Blood Mooning me, which actually just helps my mana, so that's good news. And thankfully they're one short of Kitty's Blessing. Yeah, but did you watch game 1? Because we really popped off with Trailblazer game 1. Alright, so cast this. I think I'm just going to make a green and then cast this. Okay, so now if we can find a Battlecrier, we win the game next turn. If we're alive. Makeshift the 58, thank you, welcome back. You must have forgotten Spike. You're the only innovator bond there waiting for me. I'm not, but I also have posted a lot of Ugin decks. Posted a lot of Ugin decks. So if I block 2 of these, I take 2, and then there Johnny can mean, they're not getting any life. I'm just gonna block here. We're just supposed to draw worse this game. I mean, I did actually draw worse this game, but it's okay. I feel like hopefully people try something new in that shell at some point. Okay, we found a Dragonclaw, but not a Trailblazer. Dragonclaw does draw me extra cards here. The problem is I'm just gonna die to the cats. If I could get this green Sun Zenith, we'd be cooking, I guess. But unfortunately, it's just out of reach. So if I go for Trailblazer, cast Trailblazer, I'll have 2 mana after, and there isn't really any way for me to get the Battlecrier in play after that, right? Yeah, not really. So I guess I'm just gonna... Well, no, actually I should take the Trailblazer because the spawn token is actually just really valuable. I'm just naming green again. Guide of Souls. That's their draw for turn. Okay. Wait. Did my opponent play nothing this turn and then they played one of these this turn? Doesn't make any sense. Well, the good news is my opponent is attacking me for 5, and this I'm at 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, this is the saltiest opponent I've seen in months and months and months, and it's literally over me playing multiple Outcast Trailblazers. And then I have my chatters roasting me for playing Outcast Trailblazer. Could not catch a break. All right, there's the Battlecrier. GG. My opponent is almost definitely going to get pretty salty, so we have that to look forward to. Could you please explain the deck? How about I show you the deck? You go Karn, 0 mana Karn, 0 mana Statue. Now, you don't need to have this many 4-power creatures if you have 2 Battlecriers. 2 Battlecriers is your spells cost 4 less mana. Your spells costing 4 less mana is pretty good. And this is you can kind of either pop off with Green Sun Zenith or Metamorphs and Trailblazers. Trailblazers making another mana is really good for these like pop-off turns. But what we're going to do here is we're going to cast... infinite spells as we play with our food here, and then we're going to pick up Karn and we're going to get Aetherflux Reservoir, and we're going to kill our opponent with it next turn. Now, would we have lost if my opponent wasn't playing this Stadium Headliner in their deck? Maybe. No bargain over stock up. You got what card is no bargain? My mind says that you're asking me about Beseech the Mirror in this Temur deck, but surely that's not it, right? Can we not deck? Yeah, I think it's actually a pretty good thing that the statue is a 3/4 because we would deck ourselves with the Trailblazers. We'd have lost if they didn't play Blood Moon. Yeah. Being on the draw against Boros is going to be kind of tough for this deck, I think. We kill with Sprawl this turn. Yeah, or Trailblazer. Yeah, just a spell. Yeah, I guess because we have the Metamorph, we could just go for it now. Because we have the ability to... I cast another spell if this isn't enough. Yeah, not enough, but then we get to go. My brother, you registered. Stadium headliner. Delete you. You registered Stadium headliner. All right, so great review. We're already getting opponents to salt off. 2-0, by the way. Wood drawer at the 6 months. Thank you. Welcome back. All right, so this would be a turn 3 win. Now, we're on the draw against Boros again, so we are probably going to want to try to take this a little bit slower. But we could in theory go turn 2 Battlecrier, turn 3 Battlecrier, Karn combo, Fanatic, win the game. In practice, I'm probably going to want to go Fanatic and Surveil Land next turn. Naming red here might have been bad if they Blood Moon me this turn, but I wanted to name red so I could get basic island this turn. Bro, have you... Oh, they did Blood Moon me. Have you seen the Blue-Red Prowess list? Would you be willing to league with one? We have actually run a league with one on this channel. We did that on Friday. We were undefeated. We won 4 matches, and then we lost game 1, and then we dropped to finish... or to focus on a league match, or sorry, a challenge match. So we're kind of like 4-0, and like... Oh, I don't know. I don't know how you quantify that. But yeah, it was very good. I think the prowess decks are very good. I don't know if it's up on YouTube yet. It probably isn't, but check it out. Yeah. Oh, we also have Umbral Mantle to combo off with Fanatic of Rhonas, by the way. I'm going to grab Haywire Mite here, just pass, leaving the Fanatic back to block. Have you seen Scapone's Blue-Red Stormless? Oh, hold on. Oh my gosh. Having luck does not imply your deck is good. Learn to play, noob. Johnny's pretty good here. +1 viewer. I also get to jump something with this Guide of Souls. You should just link to the stream. That's what I did. That's exactly what I did. Good start to today. They flip over a green Sun Zenith, although I guess they probably can't do anything with that. Dude, they lost guard seasoned Pyromancer? Alright, let's go to game 2. On the draw too. Yeah, if we had named blue with the Sprawl, the game would have been different because we would have been able to go Trailblazer into like a discounted Karn. We might have won if we had named blue. So I guess that was just the better way to play around the Blood Moon, huh? Yeah, Umbral Mantle combos with a Fanatic of Rhonas that has an ferocious creature in play, so it's infinite power, infinite green mana, so a little bit of a secondary combo there. The deck doesn't want Clock of Omens, not needed. So the problem with like the Clock of Omens Reliquary loop is that you need white mana to play Essence Reliquary. So for those of you who haven't seen like the statue reservoir loops before, we've done this a lot with Omniscience. And when you go off with Omniscience, there's a loop with Clock of Omens and Essence Reliquary that allows you to not play an extra spell or need an extra spell in your hand. The problem is you need white mana to do that, and I think it's better. And it also costs 2 more sideboard slots. So I think because we're not a white deck, it's better to just try to have the extra spell. Yeah, I guess if naming blue, you can get a Stomping Ground to fetch. Yeah, my plan was like getting the basic island. It's also like the least painful, and you know, I was Boros like is kind of back on main deck Blood Moon. Yeah. The Clock of Omens untaps the relic. That's like the entirety of the point of the Clock of Omens. Rum Smash for the 46 months. Thank you. Welcome back. So if this was like banned somehow instead of Temur, then we'd be in there. Favorite cards for the new set. Steel Cutter has been my favorite. We haven't played any Steel Cutter yet this week, although I guess it's only Tuesday. Steel Cutter is my favorite. Narset has been really, really fun. I really want to play more Narset this week. Narset's also a Steel Cutter deck, which is nice. I don't know. It's just been a really, really, really good set so far, I feel. Okay, so we have the Dryad Arbor in our opener here, which is a bit awkward. Although I think this is still like a pretty solid, like mold 6. So I think I'll keep it on the play. Bungo with the 10 pack. Thank you so much. We've got to get this stuff from Bungo. Make sure to thank him. Oh, they responded. It sure seems like you care. No hard feelings. Come in the chat and I'll gift you a sub. Alright, Commercial District. Okay, so this is I don't fucking care. Is this Bastard? Like, this has got to be Bastard, right? With the 6 things. This. Feeling pro, haha. Nah, I'm here to troll people and make them tilt. Okay. You'll get there one day. Because really, this has been, like, I owe them a lot. This has been really good content. Like, I love when people do this. I don't know. So, they'll get there one day. Maybe don't give them a sub. Well, they're never going to come in here anyways. Eternity with the 32 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Yeah, I might do a YouTube short. I'm totally a guy who just played them. Yeah, I did feel like maybe people would impersonate them to get the sub. Eternity the 32 months. Here for the bad decks, maybe people salty, yeah. And of course, you know, this stream is about exploring ideas and trying to innovate and you know, testing new cards after set release and having a good time. And also, of course, even if my deck was really bad, that doesn't excuse behavior like this. Now, I guess we take Wrenn and Six. I'm a little bit worried about a turn 3 Blood Moon, but this can at the very least give me a basic forest and then an island after that. Although we're pretty good if we just have the basic forest. Turn 2 Pride. Oh, dang it. Never learned my lesson, huh? Alright, enjoy your 2 free energy. I'm feeling very generous today. Now, I think I'm going to ping here. If my opponent Blood Moons next turn, we get to just cast Karn. And then go from there. Alright, well, they've got 6 cards in their hand and they conceded, but we're going to go to game 3. Shook and gifting us up to 1 is the loneliest number. Let's go. Did it say anything else? It's just a game, bro. It's just a game, bro! Don't take it seriously or use your life! Let's go! Gonna have a good day. Alright, gonna keep this. We're on the draw, though. Oh, there's also an infinite this is a hard deck to do. But there's also an infinite combo with Fanatic of Rhonas and Umbral Mantle. If you have a Fanatic that taps for 4 and you put an Umbral Mantle on it, you have an infinite power Fanatic and you have infinite green mana. Okay, opponent's on a mold of 6 on the play. Yeah, we cast a few 0 mana Metamorphs yesterday. Metamorph is pretty good in this deck. What spots do Green Sun for Dragonclaw in? I mean, just kind of simply when it's good. Usually when you have already cast another creature spell, right? So that you can trigger the Dragonclaw. But Dragonclaw is just a really powerful... Oh, sorry. Yeah, I should have surveilled this turn because it's funny, this is the one draw that makes it like this. But what I want to do is I want to play turn 2 Fanatic, and then I want to go turn 3 Sprawl plus Dragonclaw. Although my opponent has sandbagged this Amulet of Vigor, and we're on the draw against Titan to start the day off. What a wonderful start to today. So now I need to decide, do I want to pivot? And you know what? I guess I just did make a mistake already, because I can just go Sprawl on blue here. And then I can go next turn cast the Dragonclaw, and then my Fanatic will be online, and I can cast the Karn potentially. Although it might be better for me to try to draw, like if I drew a Battlecrier would be really nice, because then I could go Battlecrier for 3. Then I'd have 5 mana available between the Fanatic and the Wooded Foothills. Karn would cost only 3. So I could go Karn Coating, I could go Haywire Mite and sack. I think I could also do that if I drew a Green Sun Zenith or a Trailblazer. I'm thinking a lot about the Narset deck, Zathis, so we'll have updates for it soon. One deck at a time. Thankfully, they're on a very slow Amulet draw. Also kind of nice that this can be a 6/6 and maybe block an attacking Titan if that's what they're on here. Although we might just die this turn. They probably have to have a Grazer plus Scape Shift, but thankfully not. Okay. So I can go Karn with 1 mana available. Now this isn't out. I think instead what I'm going to do is I'm going to go Dragonclaw, Karn, Tormod's Crypt. Oh wait, I got the Tormod's Crypt. I ended up playing Soulless Jailer instead. So Needle Shifting Woodland. The thing is, if they just cast a Titan next turn, we're in okay shape. And if I Needle Shifting Woodland, I stop Aftermath Analyst loops. We're probably not doing great against Scape Shift anyways, because I guess Scape Shift is not as good because they Lotus Field. Yeah, I can also Needle Analyst. I think instead, okay. I guess I should ask myself, can I win the game next turn if I go Karn Needle this turn? If I go Karn Needle this turn, next turn I can go Dragonclaw plus Umbral Mantle, 0 mana equip. But it's I go get Dragonclaw. Yeah, it looks like I'm gonna be like a mana short of combo killing next turn. Alright, I think I'm gonna go for Dragonclaw plus Karn then. Steel Cutter isn't fitting in this deck. Yeah, I don't think in this one, but Steel Cutter is very, very good. We have played a lot of it. I do recommend it to you. Okay, so I'm going to grab the Umbral Mantle now so that if my opponent can kill my Karn with like a hasty Titan, although we do have this to block, we can still just combo kill. So pretty powerful turn. Sure do wish I was on the play. My sequencing weirdness with the Sprawl turn 1, I don't know, maybe I could have surveilled into something else. Has there been any update to Mono Blue Urza list? I imagine it's lost a bit of edge now that Boros Energy is so dominant. I actually don't think the Boros Energy matchup's so bad. Like a fast Urza, fast Kappa Cannoneer, Saga Shadow Spear, all of these can be really good. Maybe a little bit worse now that they're in on so they have the Aftermath Analyst. Do they have a Lotus Field or a Bounce Land? Even if they do, like, it's not necessarily going to be enough. Okay, they do have the Lotus Field. Lotus Field is definitely the best of the options. So they need to have another payoff in their hand, but if they do, we lose. Yeah, I guess maybe Karn Needle is better. Obviously tough to play around. Do we think Steel Cutter's drop will drop after the hype dies? I mean, this is just kind of how normal card prices work. Like, things very rarely stay like at their highs like this. But Steel Cutter seems like it's going to be a modern staple. Could you add image to enable turn 3, 4 board easier? What would you cut for image? I don't think we're hurting for clone effects. Yeah, because we need to play the consigns, like fitting the Tormod's Crypt in was tough. If I had Tormund's Crypt, this turn was a lot easier. I decided to play Soulless Jailer instead, because this is like a good anti-storm card and a graveyard hit card for some stuff like Gorios and Dredge. Violet, 11 months, thank you, welcome back. Appreciate you. Are they stacking triggers wrong? It doesn't seem that so. They are copying Aftermath Analyst. Now, I believe they have infinite mana here. Infinite mana not exactly showing us the payoff, so we have to, you know, sit here for a bit. They mill their whole library and have Reanimate land. Well, no, they don't get the Aftermath Analyst trigger here. They just can make infinite mana. I can beat infinite mana. I mean, I have infinite damage next turn, but they just need to show me that they have a way to win the game here. Yeah, they don't get the Aftermath Analyst ETB. I think that's what y'all are misunderstanding. But yeah, if they cast a Titan or I guess Scapeshift might not work because of the Lotus Fields. Scapeshift probably works because they can just get like whatever they need. How does this deck win if you don't have the +1 spell for Aetherflux? I mean, you could put a bunch of fucking power and toughness into play. You could watch, but like it's not like that's the only thing this deck is capable of doing. Yeah, this is Eshki Dragonclaw, 4 mana, 4/4, Vigilance, Trample, Ward 1. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you've cast both a creature spell and a non-creature spell, draw a card and put 2 counters on it. Yeah, Scapeshift would get Urza's Cave. And that would get the job done. Yeah, this goes infinite with Fanatic. Riveting gameplay. So I guess I don't understand why they're not casting a payoff here. Because like if they had Titan or Scapeshift or Cultivator Colossus or Pact, like they should have shown us Pact already. But why would they not have already cast it? Because wouldn't any of those cards give them enough mana to do the loop again? Maybe not. They don't have a payoff. Well, if they don't have a payoff, what are we doing here? I think it's possible that's what's happening, and they're just hoping I concede. Did you try the new Green Sun card with Harmonize in this deck? I thought about it. I think it's worse than Green Sun Zenith, but I agree that it's interesting. I can get 2 creatures. Could be correct to play like over like the stock up maybe. I don't think you want to draw too many copies. Yeah, rumbling over it's a big deal too. I didn't think about that. If you're to play a different clone effect, would Spark Double be reasonable as a clone effect that works as additional combo piece of payoff? I think you would have to play Metamorph. Spark Double is just so low card quality. They have 2 payoffs and are playing around Subtlety. That could be it, yeah. Why don't you ask them in chat? I don't know. Maybe kind of late. Well, one thing too is it's like, I guess I'll just type show me a payoff. Because it does kind of feel like they're bluffing, but show me a payoff, can't need mana first. I love this fucking deck. Love this deck. It's great. Great for the format. Okay, so Amulet gamers, what payoff are we talking about here? Titan would have already done it. Scapeshift would have already done it. Maybe I'm misunderstanding. Why can't they reveal their hand? I mean, that's just not a play you can make on Magic Online. Ballista? Are they main decking Ballista now? I haven't seen... What's going on with main deck Ballista? I guess if it is Ballista, I have Karn. But I don't think they main deck Ballista. I haven't seen that. Maybe they're tired of going to time. Maybe, but I don't know. Any payoff they have, they should have been able to cast already. Or they just had the Urza's Cave in their play. And okay, wait, sorry, they've copied the Dryad, and now they're copying Urza's Cave. Wait, they can't T-West. Hold on, what am I missing here? They can't T-West. They get Mirror Pool. They copy Dryad with Mirror Pool. Then they play Valakut from hand. Then on my turn, they can... Oh, they can't go off. They didn't have enough mana to do this. Fun. Okay, well, now it's time for my infinite loop. Yeah, riveting. I finally learned to not press the key here. Now I'm going to show them Walking Ballista. And if they have any decency, they'll concede. Although they may not understand this combo. They should have killed for turn. Well, I guess I don't understand. Okay, so one thing was, like, could they not have played the Urza's Cave earlier? Maybe that wasn't enough mana. They could have looped Analyst with Mirror Pool. Well, how would they have played the Urza's Cave? Like, if they had enough mana to just play the Urza's Cave first, then yes. If they didn't have enough mana, then no. They could have looped Analyst with Mirror Pool. How do they target the Analyst with Mirror Pool? Because they had to copy Dryad to play the Cave from hand. At that point, they couldn't. How are they copying Analyst? They used the land drop on second Lotus. Yeah, and if they needed the Lotus mana, then it just wasn't enough. Okay, I do feel like I want consigns. I think I want to cut the Dragonfolk. I think I might... Let's keep the Sureshot in. I'm going to cut the stock up. I'm going to cut a Wrenn and Six. And another Wrenn and Six and just bring in the consigns. Which is a bit weird, but I feel like we just do want the extra interaction and not some of these slower, dirtily cards. Although I don't always bring these in. I think I'm going to have to. Yeah, Eshki is a value 2 to target off Green Sun Zenith. Yeah, you're not missing anything. Okay, this hand is a turn 3 win if we draw a land. Which may be a little bit slow. Name red, I guess. Tap land, and it's not the right color. Okay, so if I take Phyrexian Metamorph, and I go Temur Battlecrier, my Metamorph costs 2. I don't think I can combo, because I don't think I'm going to be able to play a spell afterwards if I do surveil the land on top to do this, but I think we might as well... I think we might as well take this for the upside. Although, I guess the downside of taking this line is that I didn't take a blue source, so I don't have blue mana. That's kind of important, I guess. So I guess we graveyard here and pass back. Yeah, I know I don't have blue. I'm trying to surveil into blue. Because I could have gone... If I surveilled into blue, I could have gone Battlecrier, Metamorph, Karn for 0 mana. And then I could have cast... Metamorph. I guess I should have thought this out a bit more. I could have cast Wintermoon. I could have cast Torpor Orb for 0. I feel like just at least being able to cast Torpor Orb for 0 is good. So they Summoner's Pact for a Grazer. And they hit Lotus Field. So keeping this Metamorph did get a bit more interesting, I think. Don't have an Ensnaring Bridge if I did find the blue source. But I do have Wintermoon. So depending on what they get here, if I draw a blue source, I can go Battlecrier, Metamorph, Karn, Wintermoon win. Why are there no amulet triggers going in the deck? If you have Spelunking, you can choose to use Spelunking instead of the amulet. Okay. I guess they just untap the Lotus Field, sorry, so the Wintermoon doesn't win. Unless they tap all 3 of these lands somehow. Seems less likely. I did draw the blue source. So I could win the game this turn if I had another colorless payoff to cast afterwards. Maybe let me make sure I haven't miscounted. So I go fetch a blue source, cast a Temur Battlecrier, and then I tap sack the spawn and the commercial district to cast the Metamorph, copying the Battlecrier. 0 mana Karn, 0 mana Statue, Infinite Storm, Reservoir, but then I don't have any spell I can cast after. Spike the Pact. I know that they need to pay for Pact. I understand that. At the moment, I can see no way to stop them because they just untap the Lotus Field if I get the Winter Moon. So I could Needle Mirror Pool potentially. You have enough. I can make Infinite Storm and I can cast the Reservoir, but what I can't do is cast another spell after that. Green Sun is the second spell after Aetherflux, so I don't have any green mana to cast the Green Sun. I can't Green Sun for Battlecrier and have this be the spell, right? Because I go... Let me just get my island. Yeah, we may end up metamorphing the Titan. So I go Battlecrier, and then I can Green Sun X equals 2, but that's not X equals 3. No, Clock of Omens wouldn't work because we wouldn't have the white mana to cast it either. You need Clock of Omens plus Essence Reliquary. People seem to think Clock of Omens does it by itself. Yeah, we could do our non-deterministic combo loop, maybe. I might just get Torpor Orb. I think we'll just get Torpor Orb. Oh, if I get Torpor Orb, they attack with Titan and they get Bounce Land Boseiju. But I think that's probably just going to have to be what we do anyways. Because then if they get Bounce Land Boseiju, they probably won't be able to Mirror Pool. Alright, well. I copy Titan then. See if we're dead. Okay, keep that on top so we can just combo kill next turn, I guess. Thank you, Michael. 25 months since I last played Modern. I love the content. I'm glad you still like it this stream. Hope you get to play at some point again. Shadow's right. You could have Battlecrier and Green Sun for second Battlecrier. I could not. I could Green Sun X equals 2 past both Battlecrier. You were wrong. We already went over this too. So they get a Summoner's Pact. They get Dryad. So I'm just dead to... Well, I'm dead to 2 Valakuts, but there's a Valakut in the yard. I guess they can get Valakut Echoing Deeps, maybe? Have like Cactusfolk. It won us a game yesterday. This is only our second and a half match because of the Magic Online dying yesterday, but it's been good enough so far. So they get just Echoing Deeps here. And they also get a Boseiju. So this is 2 triggers. Kills by Titan. I go to 5, and then they have another land off the Dryad. But I don't die to that necessarily. But maybe it's a bounce land and they're going to hold up Boseiju. Can I beat Boseiju? I don't know. Oh, I also can't shock in the Stomping Ground anymore. Can't shock in the Stomping Ground. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to hope that they Boseiju my Ancestral Statue. Yeah, I thought about playing 1 Court of Calling. I feel like we're just not a very good Court of Calling deck. Don't really think we can still win, though. But this would be step 1. Okay, so we got them to do this. So now I can cast my Green Sun Zenith. I can cast it X equals 4. I can also bounce my Karn. So if I went and I got if I got another Battlecrier, my spells would cost 9 less. So I don't have a Cityscape Leveler. I could Karn and Ballista X equals 4 and kill the Dryad. And then they have Mirrorpool Titan, which I can't beat, so that's fun. Anything else? I guess what I could do is, if I get Aetherflux Reservoir and then I cast that, then I do get to gain life off the Green Sun Zenith, which would unlock this Stomping Ground, but I don't think that unlocks anything because I can't cast the Sureshot. It's a fun game. Mite for Heath. Mite doesn't kill Dryad. It kills non-creatures only. Can you not Green Sun for mana? I can. I've talked about all the lines I can do. So like this Karn allows all of my spells to cost 9 less, and so it seems like the best thing I can do is get this Ballista and then Ballista the Dryad. Ballista X equals 4. Now I don't. When you say can you Green Sun for mana, this is not. I don't know what you're suggesting, but it doesn't seem to be a winning line. And nor does this. I think I'm going to make my opponent kill me, though. Mark with the 36 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Oh, yeah, they did cast another pact last turn. They did cast another pact. I don't think that matters enough, though. Wait. Was Winter Moon lethal? No, Winter Moon was lethal. How did I realize? Sorry, I just didn't think they cast a pact until I looked at their graveyard for a second. It wasn't because Lotus? Well, no, it costs... Don't they... Can they have only untapped the Lotus? Did they... So they had one more land untapped. You're right. No, they could have paid. You're right. Never mind. So they get Shifting Woodland, and they get Gruul Turf, which allows them to copy the Dryad, attack with the Titan, kill me with the Valakut. Okay. It's a close game. Gonna concede. I'm going to play a stock up over the first Wrenn and Six on the play. And we get to be on the play for the first time. Maybe I'll play a Metamorph. Just board in the 4th Metamorph. No, probably better to be able to Karn for it. Get to be on the play for the first time this match. Would Karn, Reservoir, Green Sun have been better? It wasn't a play we could have done. Or we could have done that, and then what do we Green Sun for? Titania, and then nothing happens, and we lose to... Do we lose? No green mana. This hand would be so nice. Opponent's on a mull to 6. We've got to keep on the play here. Would probably mulligan if this was 7, unfortunately. Hopefully we can consign a Lotus. Or sorry, an Amulet. Dang, graveyarding this commercial district really stinks. I, for some reason, have a feeling that my opponent is sandbagging an Amulet here, the way they kind of paused early, despite being low on clock. So I'm gonna play a little patiently here. Yeah, you could maybe play a Zuran Orb. Obviously, it's an early draft, and, I think we have to play these consigns. So, if you're going to suggest a Karn sideboard card, I would love to hear what you're cutting to make room for it. Pearls, the 14 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Explorers. So obviously I have a lot of options here. I think I'm down to plot my Trailblazer. Opponent is sure taking their time for someone with 4 minutes, 20 seconds on the clock. Susie with the 9, thank you, welcome back. Yeah, timeout's not the way. I mean, I'll concede if I'm 0% to win, as I always do, but... Okay, a little bit frustrating. Got to counter this Vexing Bauble. Rumble to land and plot and hold up blue for consign. Well, the thing is I have to rumble into a land here, and I feel like I really want to be rumbling into a payoff. They put no land into play with this Grazer. Why did they do that? There's a Battlecrier and there's Karn. I think I gotta take the Battlecrier. Let's make a green mana. Not that we're super likely to get to use it. Interesting. Boseiju, okay. Three minutes on their clock. Escape shift, no amulet in play. Surely we should shock in so we can replicate. Yeah, I guess so. Didn't end up mattering. Or life total could end up mattering too. Okay, well. You can keep this. How is Wildfire against Titan? It's solid. Like hitting bounce lands is usually good. Hitting Saga is usually good. It's if you somehow have Shadow Spear plus Wildfire, you can hit Lotus Field, which could be very good. And they usually play like 3-ish basics, and so sometimes you start killing their lands. It's like I think Wildfire is a pretty good sideboard card because it's like solid against Titan. It can't really be your entire plan against Titan, but it's solid against them, and it's good against Belcher, and I think it's pretty good against Eldrazi as well. So nice versatile sideboard card. Okay, so take Battlecrier and a Sprawl. Thank you, Stock Up. We love you so much. Okay, so we're up against Eldrazi. They named green on their Sprawl. They're rumbling. They rumble over a Karn. Karn, Stirrings, all is dust. They do choose Karn. So we're going to go Battlecry into Rumble this turn. Take the Trailblazer, which will be... Right now it's 2 mana or 1 mana because it costs 2 and nets 1. If we can play another 4-power creature, it'll be pretty good. We do have this Sure Shot, which we might play to pressure Karn, although it looks like we're probably going to get Myco Spawn this turn. Now, we win if we draw Green Sun Zenith or Phyrexian Metamorph, or maybe another Trailblazer could get there. Or this card. Nice. So we do have to do this a lot of times, because we can only cast one more spell after this, but this is a win. We have to do this 34-ish times. Turns out your spells costing 4 less is pretty nice. Yeah, so we learned this trick. You don't need to manually count because you can. It's kind of like Balatro Tech, where you look at jokers in your collection. You can just look on your sideboard and see how many spells you've cast. So we have got 17. We need it to be. Let's go for 30. Just 36. Mike with the 9 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Glad you're able to catch a live stream again. Glad you're finding the YouTube useful. Yeah, we can auto yield to this. See, this is 32, so 33. 34, 35, just do 36, I guess. We go pick up Karn, play Karn, grab the Aetherflux Reservoir, cast Trailblazer, trigger the Aetherflux, blast ya. Cool. All right, let's bring in the consigns. I'm going to cut, I think, Wrenn and Six Dragonclaw stock up again. And then maybe second Wrenn and Six, maybe the... I think I want to keep in the Sureshot. I think I want to keep in Safekeeper Titania. I assume you considered a Storm payoff and Karn just does more stuff when you're not winning. A Storm payoff doesn't do anything at all. Like, our combo makes our spells cost 4 less, 4 colorless mana less. There's not like a colorless 4 mana card we could play instead. Also, Karn just is the whole combo. It's 1 card, whole combo, and it's very versatile in spots where you can't combo. Like it's of course it's much better than any other option. There really isn't anything else you could consider. Is this the Winter Moon matchup? I mean, Winter Moon is just kind of a card you grab when it's good and don't when it's not, which is maybe kind of simplistic. But there just are like a lot of spots your opponents. It just time walks your opponents, and it's pretty nice. We're on the draw with a pretty slow hand. We do have double rumble. I think I'm gonna click the keep button. I don't know if I'm gonna green. I think I should probably green sun turn 1. Okay, well now I'm gonna class this on turn 1. How does this deck feel compared to the Woodland Omniscience version? I mean, it's a bit early to say, but it's similar, but you're like really reasonable. You're not really weak to graveyard hate, which is very nice. And you get to play like a pretty proactive game plan, which is cool too. I missed how we get the statue and reservoir on the same turn. I think you bounce Karn. Yeah, you bounce Karn with the statue. Okay, that's a lot of mana. And then they rumble into Emrakul probably. Yeah, Emrakul. So the Emrakul costs 11, so they're still a little ways away from that. All right, I'm gonna take a Battlecrier. Then I'm gonna get a Breeding Pool. I think we take Fanatic, even though milling it over is technically some good value. Okay. My world is broken. So next turn, if I draw a red source, I can cast Battlecrier and I can green sun for a second Battlecrier and I can do the Karn loop, but I won't have the extra spell to cast. Yeah, I think there was like a post on Reddit or something, but like it was Monday, I think, that like 3 people were like, have you seen the double Battlecrier like goes infinite with Karn? So like 3 people said that on Monday, and then I built this on Monday night, and then we played 1 match yesterday, and now we're finishing the league, and it's been good. We're 2-0 up a game, although the record tracker is not going to reflect that because we are finishing the league. All right, there's a K command, which I probably can just scoop to. I wonder what would have happened if we were on the play this game. Yeah, I mean, if you wanna add a Karn target, like Bridge was the last one I cut. You could play Tormod's Crypt, you could play Zurin Orb, you could play Ensnaring Bridge, you could play Cityscape Leveler. Like I would probably play exactly those 4 cards if I didn't feel like it was better to have the consigns. So, if that is your suggestion, how are you making room for the consigns? Okay, so they can Emrakul me next turn. All right, let's go game 3. Unfortunately, Moto came back on 30 minutes after we went offline yesterday. I mean, that's okay. Like an hour crash in the stream is just stream ending anyways, We have tried Winter Night Stories in Phoenix. I think it is good in Phoenix. I just don't think Phoenix is very well positioned. Phoenix is really good. I think specifically Lightning Bolt and Force of Negation are great, and it doesn't feel like either of those are super great at the moment. Oh, that is kind of funny. This is from the old Tarkir set. You're right. Dragons of Tarkir, fun. Is the idea to loop into Reservoir with the spell discount? Yeah. So you either copy Battlecrier, get a second Battlecrier with Green Sun Zenith, or sometimes you'll just go double Trailblazer, Eternalized Fanatic. So Karn costs 0, then Statue costs 0, then Reservoir costs 0, and your Karn costs 0 again. Anybody playing this card in Standard? I wonder if this is the best way to play Ugin in Standard. Just make your Ugin cost 4 less. Doesn't seem too bad to me. Dude, I have to mulligan a double consign Sprawl hand. Dude, Boseiju sucks. If this was just a basic forest, this hand is insane. 3 mana spells are currently banned in Standard. What does that mean? They're not good? Yeah, I thought you could play New Ugin in the deck too. You're not gonna be able to cast really colorless spells after very often, except Karn, I guess. So I'm not really sure how that would play. Well, I was thinking Karn was the card I wanted more than anything else. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna take Titania instead and plan to Boseiju this next turn, and then just pop off with Titania. Not sure if this is right. I mean, Karn next turn was going to be very, very good. I don't know. Let me know what you would have done. This is also just really bad if they can go after my Safekeeper. I think if I don't have this Boseiju in my hand to have something to do next turn, it's a lot tougher or a lot closer. But it's also just very tough for them to beat this too. Would have taken your line. Yeah, I very close, I think. Now that they play Talisman this turn, I'm definitely regretting it. We might just top deck Karn. Okay, they do grab an Eldrazi Temple, so it's kind of nice that this gives us something good to Boseiju. Although, playing the Battlecrier is probably better, because now this means if they have a removal spell, I can protect whatever, because now Titania costs 4 next turn. And then I can Boseiju next turn. After I return a mana with the Titania. All right, keep working on it, Mike. I feel like the Morpheon decks are all really bad, if I'm gonna be quite honest. But if you're excited, that's all that matters. 3 mana values in this weird spot where they get crushed by mice or get taken over by domain. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, no imprint on the Ugin's Lab, so maybe a Myco spawn this turn. Might get Bajuka Bog here. Doesn't really do anything. Oh, sorry, I meant to sack. I'm not really going to change anything either, though. Okay, they just concede. Oh, that's great. It's awesome. Okay, we're currently 3-0. I know the record tracker says 2-0, but we're 3-0 because we started the stream mid-league. Let's get a trophy prediction going. I mean, this hand's really good if a Dryad Arbor lives and kind of an auto lose if it dies. And if we don't draw a land. No guts, no glory. Glory! Let's try how we're sequencing next turn. See what we draw, see what they do. Because we may need the Trailblazer to draw a card off the Battlecrier. Basim! Dude, that trigger resolved really fast. Okay, drawing Green Sun, it's just I definitely want to go Battlecrier into a 2-mana Trailblazer that gives me a mana back. So now my Green Sun Zenith costs 2 less, and I have 3 mana. So I could grow X equals 4 if I wanted to. Instead, I think what we should do is spend 2, X equals 3. This is going to be a really nice turn. And I'm going to get another Trailblazer. And then I'm going to make red with that Trailblazer. And then I'm going to cast this Sure Shot, unless I draw something better off the Trailblazer. And then I'm going to attack for 12. I also have my land to play for turn if I draw a land. Why do you like choosing red for your second color to have more red sources? Because I have a fetchable island and not a fetchable mountain. Right? Yeah. And that's for the main deck Blood Moons that are back. Wasn't Fanatic free to cast first? I mean, this doesn't tap for mana. It's a Summoning Sickness. Alright, pretty sure Surveilling is better than casting a Fanatic. Also, they might trade a Basim for a Trailblazer. Okay, that's fine. Pretty nice turn. Yeah, the Cactusfolk has been pretty good. I was really unsure how it would play, so it's kind of when you just try it. Yeah, it doesn't get haste itself. I thought it did yesterday, but I think it's still good enough. It's got Ward 2, which is pretty nice also. Reach. Dude, that's a fast dub. We're also a Karn deck against Affinity here. Now, I'm not gonna... Consign's not very good against them. I think I'm probably just running it back. I don't know if I really wanted to bring in, like... I think I want to keep Haywire Mite as a Karn target, probably. If I get Green Sun for it, I bring it in. Actually, I think I'm going to cut the stock up on the draw for it, since I think Karn being in play is kind of like Haywire Miting everything. I think I'll just bring it in. Alright, well this is a pretty interesting hand. I decided not to play Collector Oof in my sideboard because I'm a Karn deck and it also turns off my combo. Alright, well, I guess that makes the decision to Green Sun on turn 1 just correct. Is there any way we could use the Chain Veil to activate Karn again? Well, we wouldn't. Battlecry wouldn't give us the mana to activate Chain Veil. Yeah, then it wouldn't really accomplish anything, anyways. Okay, so they probably have Metallic Rebuke up here. That doesn't mean I can't use 3 mana though. But we'll just plot our Trailblazer. And just blank that Rebuke mana for this turn. And they're like, I did nothing on my turn. And you got to spend your mana? I really like Outcaster Trailblazer, fun card. Okay, so I really do not want them to be countering this this Crier. So I think what we'll do is we'll just keep playing around this Super Telegraphed Rebuke. Let's cast this Trailblazer. Then let's cast this Fanatic. Now I think either I rumble into the Rebuke or I pass. I think rumbling into Rebuke is good if we don't think there's a good chance they have a second Rebuke, but the fact that they did nothing again this turn kind of makes it kind of likely they just have a second one. And this Fanatic is gonna, oh, I guess this Fanatic would have helped against that. Metamorph Trailblazer. I'm playing around Metallic Rebuke. Which they've tapped out of for a pretty valuable Whip Flare. Don't need another Battlecrier because we've got the Metamorph, I guess. Guess it's good news also that the Battlecrier doesn't die to Whip Flare or Portable Hole. Yeah, it's tough to play Arena in your Utopia Sprawl deck. Okay, Shadow Spear, 3 cards in the hand. Pretty good card. So Trailblazer costs 2, and then I get a mana back, and then this costs 1. So yeah, I can pay both without playing into the Rebuke. I guess we should Rumble first, though, since I could find Karn, and it basically costs 0 because of the discount. And then we did find the Karn. So now we want to go for the win. And we can combo off here through Metallic Rebuke, because we can just pay 3 Infinite Loop and then Trailblazer is the last spell. If they have double Rebuke though, like we are suspecting, then obviously this is a bit tougher. I was listening to JRT podcast, and they mentioned Rebuke shouldn't be played full stop. Is Snare Piece or Force better than the Infinity List? No, like Rebuke is still, I think, a good main deck card. It's like, it is better than all of these other cards. It is pretty telegraphed, but like a lot of times, like you are in a position where you hold it up really conveniently, and if your opponent does nothing, that's kind of a good thing, and then they have to play into it later. I think it's a lot better in the Urza list that like play in like the Urza, Tamio, Imri builds than like the more aggressive ones. For whatever that's worth. But I think it's a pretty bad sideboard card. Like, I think if you're going to play it, you have to, like... It's like your main deck interaction. It's not just, like, you board it in against decks with spells. But I think to say it just shouldn't ever be played is just way too reductive. Like, we have plenty of trophies with Metallic Rebuke. Yeah, I thought about trying to make this a Coco deck. The problem is, like, there aren't that many 3-mana creatures that are good in the deck. It's like Battlecrier, Trailblazer, Fanatic, and then the list kind of dries up. Maybe if you could figure out Songcrafter Mage, although it not having 4 power is pretty tough. That could be fun, though. Battlecrier, Trailblazer, Songcrafter. It sounds cool enough to try. Very cool to combo off through the Rebuke here. And again, as it turns out, your spells costing 4 less mana is pretty good. Yeah, Glassbowl Mimic could be good in that kind of shell. Yeah, you could play other like 1-mana dorks that suck, but exist. If only there was a Temur Hierarch. Okay, everyone gives us the GGs. It seems like they believe me. I recommend playing Azorius Artifacts RCQ season. I feel pretty strongly that the mono blue build I've been playing is better than the Azorius build, but you don't need to play a lot of interaction. You have Karn, but this deck is just like proactive threats, card draw, and mana acceleration, which is not a bad formula. And then you also have Karn and Consigns for combo decks. Also, maybe what you're missing is like the deck is clunky, but we're really built around a card that makes all of our spells much cheaper, and your spells being much cheaper is pretty good. Can I go? I think I could go Trailblazer into Sureshot next turn if my Fanatic lives. I think I get Basic Island to play around Blood Moon next turn. Well, I guess I can wait a turn on that. Crystal Shard works. Okay, explain why Crystal Shard works. Please explain any loops that are being proposed. Surprised by 0 Hobbit. Well, Hobbit doesn't cast our Temur 3-drop, so I don't think it really makes sense. Replace Essence Reliquary with Crystal Shard, and you can bounce statue, bounce card again. Type out the entire loop, Xanthus. You'll find out why it doesn't work. Especially because you need mana to activate Shard, which we don't have on the loop. But just think it out, and you'll understand that it doesn't work. Well, I guess we're drawing this after all. I'm pretty sure I'm going to Eternalize my Fanatic this turn. I was thinking 1 Hobbit to force through Karn. You just do not want to play mana dorks in your deck that don't cast your most important 3-drop. Like this deck needs to be able to go 1 mana accelerant into the 3-drop into untap win as consistently as possible to be fast enough against the non-interactive decks. So I do not think a Delighted Halfling is a good card in this deck at all. Could 1 Arbor Elf be a good green sun target? You could play it Arbor Elf, yeah. Sure Shot mostly for Titania. We've had a lot of game turns where we just play a bunch of Trailblazers and then Sure Shot attack for a bunch, but Titania is also part of it. So if loop is statue, bounce Karn, get shard, you start to bounce statue. Okay, so Xanthus, you go loop statue, bounce Karn, and then you get shard. And then you go shard, bounce statue. When you don't have the mana to bounce it, and then you get clock, untap shard. Wait, maybe it does work. Clock, untap shard. Bounce statue, get Karn, Aetherflux. Okay, I guess it does work. But the problem is that you need blue mana. That is kind of interesting though. Oh, we're also pretty dead here. You need triple blue? Okay. Cool, you're right, it does work. Yeah, you don't need another spell, but you need a bunch of blue mana, which is probably not worth it still. Running it back. I do think the Boros matchup's not great. We did beat it earlier, though. Trailblazer into Metamorph. Yeah, maybe that was better. I feel like I wanted to play the Eternalize in case they had Flage. Yeah, it requires mana instead of an extra card, which is like almost harder too, because this deck can draw so many cards with the Trailblazer. I'm gonna keep this. I'm pretty sure I just kind of have to get as quick ahead on board as I can, so we should green sun for the Arbor. Yeah, EE can be good against Boros. It's a bit awkward to play in our Utopia Sprawl deck. And you know, if you want to add a Karn sideboard card, I'm open to it, but you got to tell me what you'd cut. Okay, so Portal of Sanctuary does seem a little bit better than Crystal Shard, but it's still isn't quite it, I guess. This time I'll make red because I got the breeding pool. If I draw Green Sun or Battlecrier, we win. Or can win. Okay, it's a lot of cats. Green Sun, Battlecrier. Nice. Okay, and to the chatter who said they don't understand why you need an extra card for the loop, let me show you. It's because we are going to we cast this, make Infinite Storm, then we pick up Karn, and then we cast Reservoir, but then we don't have... Oh, I guess I could do this a bit easier here, because I have Metamorph, so yeah, I actually get to kill faster. What a treat. Gonna go to game 3. Assuming you can pick up the statue after sacking it. Well, how do you pick up the statue after sacking it? So you sack it to make a goat. You make a goat. Then you draw a card. Then you sack it. It's only 1 return though. Alright, keep this. We might get to go turn 3 Rumble into Dragonclaw, which could be pretty good. Although just being on the Dragonsporos is going to be very difficult in general, I think. Turn 1 Ragavan. If we were on the play, I'd be feeling Dees. They flip over a Karn, which they thankfully can't cast this turn. I'm actually going to take the Boseiju. Just painless untap land next turn is very valuable. I think I grab this too. Yeah, I think we're just getting Boros on the draw, unfortunately. Maybe if my Dragonclaw had haste. Maybe if I had taken the Temur Battlecrier. If I'd taken Battlecrier, I could have gone Battlecrier into... Yeah, I wouldn't have had enough mana to green set for another copy, nor had the extra spell to cast. Oh, they target the spawn token. So they're going to flip over my Sprawl, which was... I was planning on being able to cast Sprawl into Dragonclaw next turn. But that's just too slow here. Very dead. They have Orim's Chant. Yeah, I just was never baiting this draw, basically. Maybe on the play, but not on the draw. Okay, 4-1 our first league. I think that's a very good showing, especially for a deck like this. I think I just want to run it back. I think this deck is a little too special to just do 1 league. Is Eshki for flavor just...